I want to welcome everybody to a special Midrash Magic get-together for Reverend Elisabeth. So we have our little group here, and we're going to do some midrashing on Alice in Wonderland. So I want to see if...
I'm so sorry, my phone, the thing, it wouldn't work again.
Oh, it's okay, Martha. We got you. You're here. It's Elizabeth and Jennifer and Catherine and Martha and Murray. And we're just going to have a little fun time here. So I would like to have someone read out the... oh, yeah, Elizabeth, please. And Jennifer. So let's say Elizabeth goes until... let's see. Where up until the end of the brackets, and then Jennifer can go afterwards, but when the rabbit actually took a watch.
Can you move it up then, because I can't see the whole thing? Okay.
Is that okay?
You can scroll it after.
I can.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
So she was considering in her own mind, as well as she could, for the hot day made her feel very sleepy and stupid, whether the pleasure of making a daisy chain would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking the daisies, when suddenly a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by her. There was nothing so very remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it so very much out of the way to hear the rabbit say to itself, oh dear, I shall be too late." When she thought it over afterwards, it occurred to her that she ought to have wondered at this, but at the time, it all seemed quite natural.
But when the rabbit actually took a watch out of his waistcoat pocket and looked at it, and then hurried on, Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take out of it. And burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it and was just in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. In another moment, down went Alice after it, never once considering how in the world she was to get out again.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for reading. So the first step in our midrash process are questions. So I need questions. Yes, Martha, what's your first question?
I'm wondering why the rabbit's eyes were pink. Was it pink eye? Was there an infection? Was it a bunny pandemic?
That's very good. Was it an infection? All right. Anyone else? Yes, Kathy. I see Kathy, then Elisabeth.
I want to know how the rabbit is able to manipulate the watch. He's got paws. He doesn't have fingers. How can he wind a watch? And is it an analog watch or is it a digital watch? How does he get the little door open? How does he even get it out of his pocket?
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Elisabeth.
Whenever I read this, I just can't help but wonder, where were the parents or the babysitter or the caregiver or the nanny or whoever?
Where were the parents, guardians, nannies? Yes. Anyone else? Jennifer.
Who dug the rabbit hole?
Who dug the rabbit hole?
Are they part of a highway system, or is this a one-off thing that just happened one up way in? And is it a one-way street?
Is it a street at all, or is it in a field? And is the field nearby where Alice lives? I mean, did she have to wander to it? Did her parents, caregivers, babysitters, did they know where she was?
Okay. Elisabeth, and then Martha.
I need to see a map. Could we see a map?
Just in that vein, if I may interrupt, another question that's apropos of this particular group is what was happening before all this? What predicated?
Absolutely.
I was
The
gonna ask
Graham
that.
We need the
question.
It's the
Graham
Graham
question.
What-
Yes.
Why are we here?
Why are we here?
Why are we here?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask the Bob question because I'm
Bob?
really feeling quite cynical about this. I think, you know, that there's a conspiracy going on, and I think it has to
Mhm.
do with some type of underground thing.
Oh,
I
this
love
does
it.
sound very, very sneaky.
I do.
Okay.
I think that yeah, I don't believe this.
Okay, so what
Yeah.
exactly aren't you believing? Are you not believing the rabbit or the rabbit hole?
You know, tumbling down, I think basically the rabbit fell into a hole, and I think that's it. Like, we don't have to go all over the place with it, right? It's a hole, it's a rabbit. I don't get what the story is.
Well, did did Alice hurt herself when she fell down the hole? I mean, it doesn't say she stepped down or wandered down the hole. And where are the other rabbits? Usually there's a colony. And why aren't they nearby taking part in this whole event?
That's very true. Usually there are more than one rabbit.
Okay,
Totally,
There's like two or
yes.
three always in the
Yes.
backyard.
Yeah,
Okay, yes,
exactly.
Jennifer. Yeah.
but to go back to the hole, which I think is the core of the question that we're after,
Mhm.
do you go down the hole feet first, or do you go down head first, or do you sit on your bum and slide down?
Very
Hmm.
fascinating. Well, I think we have quite a few questions here. One,
Kathy
two,
has
three,
another
4,
question
5,
there.
6. Oh, sorry. Hi, Kathy. Yeah.
So
Give
to
us
pick
another.
up on Jennifer's question, how is it that it's a big enough hole for a rabbit and a big enough hole for a young woman? How is it a hole that changes sizes? Does it grow? Does it shrink?
Sounds more like an excavation than a hole.
Sounds like our Quebec road system.
Oh, maybe it's a
Indeed.
pothole.
Indeed.
We just never know where these potholes will lead us, will we? Right?
And I'm sure that if Jeannie were here, she knows a song about rabbits. But I
Oh,
don't,
yes.
'cause I'm not Jeannie.
That's
Sure,
true.
rabbit song.
That's true. Does anyone know a rabbit song?
Nope.
Little rabbit frou frou.
Well, maybe we'll worry about the music some other time. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Unfortunately, I don't have a map, but I'm sure, Lewis Carroll probably created a map, maybe a fictional map. I'd have to look that up, of course. Let me make a note of that. Find map and send it out to everybody.
And also, could you try to find out how you say rabbit in Greek? Because I'm really interested in that, and in Hebrew.
And in
I have
Hebrew.
a feeling that you can say rabbit in Hebrew and Greek.
Yeah, I have to look that up. It's very good.
Mhm.
Did Kathy, you want to say something? Because you're muted. No?
Yeah.
Okay, you're good. Oh, I still can't hear you though. You're still
Sorry.
muted. Okay. No problem. No problem. Okay. Okay, so do we want to use these questions and texture and see, what's going on in the field, what's going on in the rabbit hole? What is Alice really doing?
But why was it significant enough that anybody wanted to write about Alice falling down a rabbit hole? I mean, who wrote it? And who on earth was going to read a story about a child falling down a rabbit hole?
Well, this is very interesting because I have looked up some of this information. And Lewis Carroll, who was a Victorian writer, wrote a little bit in the genre of nonsense fiction. So that means a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of we don't know what's going on. And I think it was maybe we can, texture this and say it was, a nonconformist way against Victorian era and Victorian rules. What do you think about that?
It was like
Absolutely.
a protest text. Are you saying?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
It was a
Sorry.
protest text? Is this what you're saying?
Maybe it was a protest text. Maybe.
Huh.
But also, it does seem a little dreamlike, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe
it might
Alice was
might-
following a dream.
it might be in the genre of vision then.
It could be.
Mhm.
Vision?
I was wondering if he was escaping from something or running from a force or a power that was being brought to bear on his environment. So somebody external to him that was causing great grief to those around him. Tariffs bringing all of that to bear.
So who's him?
Hmm.
Is him the rabbit or Lewis Carroll?
My sense was Lewis Carroll was describing somebody that the rabbit was in fear of, and Lewis Carroll himself was
Oh,
concerned about and was hiding it in prose rather than naming the person
Oh.
directly.
wow.
Dang.
Interesting.
That is definitely a retelling of the tale.
Indeed.
Indeed. Indeed. But maybe, you know, we could look at it that Alice was, I don't know, searching a dream.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she fell out of bed. Didn't go down the rabbit
Maybe,
door.
maybe she was already dreaming.
Ah,
I'm wondering what other communities have read this. Like I know, kids at a certain time, I don't know if some of you read it when you were in school maybe. And are children reading this story in school right now? Are they not?
Mm.
Will they read it in the future? Will this story continue?
It's very popular in terms of there are cartoons and movies, and it's a very well-known tale. In fact, going down the rabbit hole is really become part of our vernacular, hasn't
Yes,
it? It's really
It
we
has.
use that phrase a lot.
You know what?
And
It almost feels like we should thank someone for sending us down the rabbit hole. But I'm wondering who.
Who could we thank?
Who
could
could
that
we
be?
thank Lewis Carroll?
Hmm.
Could thank Lewis Carroll, but I think he's dead.
Yeah, it's no use telling him right now.
Reverend Elisabeth.
yes, maybe Reverend Elisabeth for
Yes.
sure. For sure.
We could actually say thank
Thank
you.
Thank
you
you
for
for
sending
sending
us
us
down
down the rabbit hole.
hole.